Millions of Americans started their day with a dose of prescription medication. Unfortunately, for many patients, those drugs aren't affordable. Prescriptions are left at the pharmacy counter, and doses are skipped or rationed until the next paycheck. That is unacceptable. As chairman of the Finance Committee last Congress, I explored several approaches to reduce healthcare costs. Senator Wyden and I started by investigating insulin pricing. We found that the business practices and competitive relationships between manufacturers and middlemen, the pharmacy benefit managers or PBMs, whatever you want to call them, have created a vicious cycle of price increases. PBMs spur drug makers to hike list prices in order to secure prime formulary placement and greater rebates. I also investigated the debt collection practices of nonprofit hospitals. I examined how these hospitals make financial assistance plans available to patients, and the patients can't even afford to pay. Nonprofit hospitals enjoy certain tax benefits because they're supposed to serve the needs of their communities and particularly patients with limited means. It's only fair that we ensure compliance with the laws if they get special treatment. I've worked with Senator Wyden on prescription drug bill that would lower drug costs and, at the same time, save the taxpayers $95 billion. Our bill would cap out-of-pocket drug costs for seniors at $3,100. It would slow the growth of drug costs in the future while protecting innovation by keeping government out of the business of setting prices. The key part of the bill limits year-over-year increases to CPI, or approximately 2% today, as opposed to the usual increases of 5 to 10% every year. It's the only prescription drug bill that can get 60 votes in the United States Senate. I also believe that the importation of safe and affordable prescription drugs from Canada would lower healthcare costs. As you heard, Senator Klobuchar and I worked together on several bills, so we have a bill to allow this, creating savings for consumers and injecting more competition into the pharmaceutical market. When I chaired the Judiciary Committee, I conducted an investigation into EpiPen's misclassification in the Medicaid drug rebate program. My investigation started when a constituent contacted me about high EpiPen costs. Those constituent contacts and its resulting congressional investigation ultimately contributed to the implementation of the bipartisan bill that we call the Right Rebate Act. We must deter companies from engaging in activities that aim to reduce competition, including regulatory interference, pay for delay, product hopping, and rebate bundling, just to name a few. Again, Senator Klobuchar and I reintroduced our bill to combat anti-competitive pay for delay deals, where brand drug companies pay their generic competitors not to compete. Klobuchar and I also reintroduced our bill to reduce the incentives for brand drug companies to interfere with the regulatory approval of generics and biosimilars that would compete with their own products. The largest PBMs have merged with insurance companies, and these conglomerates often own other players in the healthcare industry. It's important to determine whether consolidation helps patients or, as I believe, creates anti-competitive behavior and increased costs. I've also introduced a bill with Senator Cantwell to bring transparency to the PBM industry by requiring the Federal Trade Commission to study the effects of consolidation on pricing and potential anti-competitive behavior. Further, Congress should codify regulations requiring hospitals and insurers to disclose their low discounted cash prices and negotiated rates to consumers before they receive medical care. We should pass Senator Braun's PICE Transparency Act, which I've co-sponsored. We should work in a bipartisan, bicameral fashion to tackle the problems of rising healthcare costs, and this hearing proves in a bicameral way that we're doing it.